Now at 5:30, the U.S. Surgeon General is declaring gun violence a public health crisis.
The nation's top doctor saying gun violence impacts Americans even if they aren't directly involved in a shooting. A landmark advisory from the doctor sounding the alarm that gun violence is now the leading cause of death from children and teens. And more than half of adults say they or a family member have experienced a gun-related incident.
We don't have to live like this, and I lay out a series of strategies in this advisory that can help us reduce the profound toll of gun violence and help recognize that this is an issue that's infiltrated the psyche of America.
The 40-page document calls for solutions like stricter gun laws. The NRA says the answer is to prosecute criminals and not restrict gun rights. Across the country, officials have been sounding a call to action to address gun violence. Here in Columbus, local leaders have repeatedly called on state lawmakers to pass gun safety legislation, including after Sunday's mass shooting in the Short North. But nothing has happened at the state level in the last 2 years.
10 TV political reporter Doug Petcash is live at the State House, where he asked House leaders about the issue today. Doug?
Yolanda and Andrew, this General Assembly has not passed any new gun laws since it went into session back in January of 2023, and it looks like it won't pass any tomorrow, which is likely the last session before the summer. 32 bills will be up for a vote on the House floor tomorrow, another 24 or so in the Senate. None deal with gun violence or safety. Lawmakers have proposed several, though, including one to stiffen penalties for repeat offenders who have guns illegally and one to ban mass casualty weapons. The bill defines that as any semi-automatic designed or specially adapted to fire more than 31 rounds without reloading. Republican House Speaker Jason Stevens says different parts of Ohio have different environments when it comes to guns.
Having that policy, from a statewide standpoint, when you bring all the representatives in, especially from the Republican Party, there's not an appetite to change, the gun laws.
It's not surprising because this has consistently been the stance of the supermajority here, being very out of step with where I think the vast majority of Ohioans are.
The House and Senate will hold their final sessions before tomorrow, that is, before a long break, which will likely go into November. So action on any gun bills would have to wait until then. Live at the State House, Doug Petcash, 10 TV News.
Doug, thank you.